Product marketing case study: why the Shure SM7B microphone wins even though it's an inferior product. I'm going to dispel some commonly held beliefs in product marketing, such as the idea that all you need to do to be successful is to nail your positioning and targeting. In fact, I would say product awareness may be even more important than those two things. Your goal as a product marketing manager is to make your product become the default choice. It's not just true with business to consumer hardware, but it's also true with business to business software. Here we have a quote from Jason Lemkin, the face of the SaaS industry. 90% of the world wants to buy the default choice. Most people don't have the time to go around evaluating the nuances of every product to determine what the best product is. What they're going to do is they're going to go with the obvious default choice. So, how did Shure become the default choice? Basically, it's because the top people, the most visible people in the audio industry, are using it and they're seen using it. So, here we have Joe Rogan, the top podcaster, displaying the Shure SM7B. People look at that and they say, okay, well, if the top podcaster uses it, then I'm going to use it too. Now, you might also ask the question, why is Elon Musk, the CEO of a major company, wasting his time going on a podcast? It's because that visibility, that PR, those 30 million free views are incredibly valuable. So if Elon Musk, the CEO of a company, is focusing on going on a podcast, then you as a product marketing manager should be focused on getting your product on that podcast, getting your CEO an interview on that podcast, and generating PR with tons of free views. We also see here an implicit endorsement by Michael Jackson, who's using the Shure SM7B. You want to become the default product, whether you're in business to consumer or business to business. There's a famous quote: nobody ever got fired for buying IBM. Because in business to business, what people want to do is make the conservative choice so they won't get blamed. The obvious choice, the default choice. Because even if your product fails, if it was the default choice, it's the one that people trust. People do not generally choose narrowly positioned products. And this is one of the most widely held myths in product marketing management, is the idea that we're just going to pick a niche, we're going to pick a blue ocean, we're going to position our product as the special, unique option for your specific narrow customer subsegment. But that's not what people like. People don't generally want the product that's especially for them. What they want is the best product. They want the default product. And often that means a broadly positioned product. Let's take a look at how Shure positions their product on their website. Vocal microphone. What a general positioning. It's not the best microphone for men, the best microphone for people with deep voices, the best microphone for podcasting. It's just vocal microphone. But yet they're incredibly successful, proving in a case study that narrow positioning is not necessarily what you need to do to be successful. So the SM7B is not actually the best microphone for all voices. It's just the most well-known. And that's what people buy. They buy the most well-known default choice. Narrow positioning and targeting is overrated. Instead, what you should be focused on is dominating your category, because it is at the category level that products compete. Being well known is more important than being well positioned. This is a quote from Grant Cardone, one of the top influencers in the world. The best product does not win today. Whoever gets the most attention wins the game. Now, to understand this, I think you need to think about the research. And we can look at the research, the academic research from the book How Brands Grow, which is going to be important if you don't really trust Grant Cardone and you want a more data-backed positioning on this argument. Basically, even small companies, even small products, are competing with much larger products because the product category is where the competition happens. And generally, you're up against much bigger, well known products, even if you think that you're competing in a very niche, narrowly positioned category. So, really, the mindset you should have is to dominate. It's not about competing so much as dominating the product category. Another lesson we can learn from Shore is that if you invest now, you'll reap the rewards later. Too much product marketing is really focused on how much pipeline, how many sales are coming in this quarter, this month, or even this week. So it's very short term thinking. But most of a product's success or business success in general can be attributed to past work. This is why, for example, when we cut advertising budgets, there's not necessarily a sudden drop in sales because we're dealing with much larger time frames than we tend to think. So you have to invest now to reap the harvest later. That's how marketing works. So the Shure SM7B was released in 1973, and we've seen a sudden surge in popularity because of the surge with content creators, podcasters, YouTubers, etc. So this teaches us that macro markets, or thinking of the target market in broader terms, is more important than just thinking about who the target customers are. So we're looking at the context of what's happening in the market, which is the sudden rise of content creators with YouTubers, Twitch streamers, etc. We're considering things like COVID and the fact that people are working from home more. They're using Zoom. They're using Google Meet. They're doing a lot of things that they didn't do in the past. And Shure, with the SM7B, this product released in 1973, has suddenly surged in popularity, not because the product fundamentally changed, but because the macro market changed. And that's what you need to be monitoring. Another key lesson is that people simply prefer what is familiar. This is the most well documented psychological principle in marketing. It's called the mere exposure effect. Merely being exposed to something repeatedly is going to make people prefer it. So basically, one of the key things we need to monitor as product marketing managers is reach and frequency, which are traditionally considered KPIs in the advertising world, in the agency world, and not something product marketing managers are used to monitoring, but may actually be more important than your positioning and targeting. Awareness distorts all value propositions. Awareness creates more perceived value for customers and for partners, your collaborators, and it creates more real value for your company because the more awareness you have, the more preference customers have for your product, the more revenue you're going to generate. And familiarity is more important and can overcome product deficiencies. So I'm just going to list out some of the deficiencies, technical deficiencies of the Shure SM7B, even though it's one of the world's most popular microphones. It requires something called a cloud lifter, which is an expensive addition to the product that's required to increase what's called the gain. It's not built for home environments, it's built for professional studios, which most buyers don't have access to. It's not the best at blocking out external noise, and it's not designed for the new target customer that is actually becoming the largest target customer segment. For example, YouTubers. It has an ugly back that's not pretty on camera. It's just sort of a bunch of holes here. It only comes in one color, even though the target customer very much likes to go with different colorways. In fact, customers actually have to buy this foam, these windscreens from third-party suppliers. And some buyers are going to other third parties to get custom wraps to make it look the way they want it to look. So Shure isn't even giving customers what they really want. It has an outdated design. It requires another external thing called an audio interface. So it's not even really a complete product. It's good, but it doesn't have the best sound quality on the market. especially not at this price point. It has unnecessary dual bolts. So there's a bolt on this side and a bolt on the other side, but really modern products only require one. It has an inconvenient XLR port location. So this port right here is very awkwardly positioned where the stand would be. It's heavy and it's expensive. And to summarize, it's never really been built for the biggest customer segment, which is content creators. Now let's talk about a competing product, the Logitech Blue Sona. It's objectively and subjectively better in almost every way. But look at the demand. The Blue Sona in this period only generated 6 searches versus the SM7B, 92. That's over 10 times the volume. So why is a superior product getting less traction? Because the SM7B was marketed better and had more time for that marketing investment to accumulate. The Logitech Blue Sona is perfect for the target buyer. It's positioned perfectly. The value proposition from a technical perspective is fantastic. It has better sound quality. It's overwhelmingly preferred in blind sound tests. There's no cloud lifter required, so it's basically a complete product. It's cheaper, $300 versus the Shure SM7DB, which is a comparable product that has the cloud lifter, and it costs $500. So it's close to half the price. Better at isolating sound. It has a second noise canceling capsule. It has better color options, better XLR port location. It's more convenient in the back here. Performs better in home environments where most people use it. There's no need to buy a third-party windscreen. They give you 2 magnetic ones that attach easily. There's red one and the default black one. It's been optimized for the largest target customer segment, content creators. It's lighter, it's prettier on camera. For example, it doesn't have an ugly back. It has a nice little magnetic logo on the back. It has a more modern design. There's no awkward external wire. It has a one-sided large knob that's easy to adjust, and it's just easier to use. It's a better product. It's a superior product. Your product can be superior in almost every possible way, but nobody cares unless they've heard about it. So, here are the key product marketing lessons from this case study. Give your product to key influencers. You can find them using this tool, this free tool called SparkToro. Invest in marketing today and reap the rewards later. Don't be so hyper focused on, did I generate a demo request? Did I generate a lead? Did I generate a sale? It's more about building awareness, making your product the default choice, while simultaneously optimizing things like short-term revenue. Do product awareness marketing to become the default choice. A lot of people think awareness marketing is just for brand marketing people. No, that's not true. You can run awareness marketing to elevate awareness for your specific product and your specific product brand. You want to make your product visible / viral. So, for example, design it in a way and promote it in a way that it can be seen on cameras. You want to prioritize high reach channels in PR. So, for example, one thing that I did with veterinarian software was give it away to the top podcasters. You want to pay attention to market trends. Your target market isn't just about the target customers, it's about changes that are happening in the market. So, for example, today, that's the surge in demand for AI. In the case of Shure, it's things like COVID, working from home, and the increasing market for YouTubers and content creators. And lastly, you want to aim to dominate your category instead of just breaking up into sub niches. Your product category is bigger than you think, and you're competing with bigger competitors than you think you are.